when you play Catalan, you have to be prepared for various different transpositions to different openings and make sure you are well prepared for it and you know positions you're gonna get. For example, knight on d4, knight f6, or even on, suppose we start with knight f3, d5, g3, and knight f6, bishop g2, c5, you castle. Well, you don't need to do anything yet because black cannot go to e5. You should not allow e5. The reason why you should not allow e5, I'm going to explain. Because if whatever happens and you allow black to go e5, then you're going to get king's Indian position. And king's Indian positions, it's not a good idea to play with white. The reason is because black can choose some variation of king's Indian where extra tempo for white will not be essential. So in this case, we are not going to get advantage. So the good idea is after castling a knight c6. Well, here we're going to transpose to the Grunfeld. But why is it okay to play Grunfeld with extra tempo and not the king's Indian? Because when you play some opening with reverse colors, when you have an extra tempo for white, it's very important play the type of the opening that extra tempo is very important because position is going to be open. After c4, we're going to get very lively and open position where extra tempo is very, very valuable. In a close position, it's not valuable. And Grunfeld is very concrete variations. Position opens in the center, and with extra tempo, you can be sure in a huge majority, maybe in every case, you're going to have good size of advantage. Besides Grunfeld, you can have, as we already mentioned, transposition after knight f3, knight f6, d4, d5, bishop g2, I don't know, maybe even e6, and if we go d4, c5, c4, knight c6, you can get transposition to Tarrasch. So you have to be prepared for it, and you should know how to play there. Now, as a conclusion, I want to show you one game. Actually, the game was played by me, and I showed this game in one of my previous DVDs a couple of years ago. Game against Ljubojevic, Yugoslavian Grandmaster, was played in the Olympiad in 1984, and he was very famous Grandmaster. He was one of the top players in the world at that point. Knight f3, c5, g3, d5, bishop g2, knight c6, d4. We have to go d4 now, transposing to Grunfeld, because move later may be too late, as I already mentioned. So after d4, with knight f6 was played, castle, and bishop f5. I think this is simply a mistake. Black should have chosen variation of Grunfeld with a quickly concluding development. Now after bishop f5, it's very ambitious move. They still want to get advantage in its center, but they are going to be playing it with a tempo down. And Lyuboyevich was very aggressive player, very ambitious player, and this ambition here is not justified. c4, d takes c, and queen a4. Now with threatening knight e5, knight d7 was played with the idea of playing knight b6. d takes c, e6, queen takes c4, bishop takes c5. Well, what happened here? So we got from Grunfeld reversed back to Catalan, and this position is much better for white. Knight c3, and here black played rook c8, rook d1, very ambitious and bad move, knight b4, threatening bishop takes f2, attacking the queen, and threatening knight c2, but after bishop e3, black is in grave danger. They are in danger because if bishop takes e3, then queen takes b4, and you see the bishop is hanging, the pawn is hanging, and also if bishop retreats, black has to deal with knight e5. I think at this point black is almost lost. Bishop e7, queen f4, knight e5 is coming, and black continues with their plan knight c2, but after knight e5 the game is practically over. Knight takes a1, rook takes d7, queen to a5, rook takes b7. Black is exchange up, but they cannot castle. King stuck in its center. Knight c6 is threatening, and the position is totally lost. Queen a6, rook takes a7, queen d6, queen a4 check, king f8, and bishop f4. This game has a lot to do with basic principles of chess. Don't try to get some active play and to attack your opponent's position before you conclude development. And there's a lot of examples in Catalan where this can happen, but this is transposition from Catalan to Grunfeld. Most of the time favors white. Transposition from Catalan to reversed Grunfeld, and that's why black was punished in this game. Now, this concludes what we want to say about Catalan, and we do suggest you play this because there are a lot of positional and tactical ideas. In every opening we choose, we try to get there a lot of positional aspect. And this, because our goal is not only to tell you how to play this opening, it's also, our goal is to make you play openings that will be instructive and helps you a lot with understanding the game of chess. So thank you very much, and have a good luck with Catalan.